I wonder if even you know what a scoundrel you are, Uncle John.
What is it about a wheelchair or crutches or a cane that makes a man bitter? Especially a young man.
I'm bitter. I'm also hungry and cold and uncomfortable.
Looks to me you do very nicely here.
What do you know about discomfort?
When I was your age, I had less.
You don't intend for me to have my money, ever, do you?
Why, lad, I'm giving you your money.
A shilling at a time? You could give me 10 times as much and it would still last my lifetime. And I'm not about to pop off either. So don't get your hopes up.
Why, what a way to talk to a kinsman.
You're spoiling my supper, you old goat.
I thought you had a part-time housekeeper.
What kind of a woman will come in, even part-time, on what I can pay?
But perhaps you're unkind to them, or bitter, as you are toward me. Aren't you going to offer me a cup of tea?
I dare you to drink the cup of tea I make for you.
Oh, yes, I see your point. Good night, David.
Give me my money. Give me my inheritance. Liar, scoundrel, thief! Come in.
I came about the advertisement in the newspaper.
I didn't hear the door buzzer.
For a part-time housekeeper?
You hardly seem the type. Rather too pretty for a cleaning woman, don't you think?
Well, if the position hasn't been filled, I would like to.
Katie, you beggar, what are you doing here?
David.
How did you find me?
Do I get the position, sir?
Of course not.
Wonderful. I'll start right away. Hey.
It isn't much, is it?
Well, a bit of fixing wouldn't do it any harm, I'll say that. You look wonderful, David. You're much too thin, but you look wonderful.
How long have you been out of uniform, Katie?
Oh, just about the same length of time you have, I expect. Goodness. You must have put everything you own in that pot.
But that's a long time. Where have you been since?
Oh, here and there. First thing I'm going to do is to stock this cupboard.
Here and there. Doing what?
Well, hoping I'd run into you mostly.
Married?
That would be a bit of a thing, wouldn't it? When I expect to marry you.
Now, wouldn't it? I'm really starved trying to feed two on the contents of that pot.
That's wonderful. Do you know the last time I proposed to you, you shouted at me?
Stick around. I'll be shouting again when I get over being glad to see you.
What was that grand story you were telling me about some inheritance you were going to get? Is this it?
That's it. The buzzer is on.
Oh, so it is. Shall I see what they want?
What do you know about books?
Well, I know they're very good for putting babies on when they're learning to eat at the table.
Oh, come. Good evening. What can I do for you? Is there anything in particular? Some special book?
I don't want no book. And I don't especially want to shoot you neither.
You'd get more robbing the church box up the street. There's no money here. I haven't sold a book all day.
I happen to know different.
Take a look. There's the cash drawer on the desk.
Look, there's bound to be money here, but I haven't got time to look for it. So you'll have to direct me.
If I could get out of this chair, I'd direct you.
Come right in, miss.
What does he want?
Open the curtains a bit wider, miss.
Do it, Katie. He's nervous enough now to pull the trigger.
Thank you, miss. Would you kindly step out here? Ah, that's better. I thought we'd find it. Don't be afraid, miss. Do what I say, you won't get out.
Scared to death, you little night crawler.
Katie, what's happening? Are you all right?
David.
I'm all right. Just steady the chair. He left without the money.
Yes, shall I call the police?
As usual, you handled the situation.
I didn't handle anything at all. He just turned around and ran. Must have thought he saw a policeman through the window or something. Oh, I was that scared.
I heard him yell like you stuck your pinky in his eye.
I don't remember hearing him yell. Look, you better put that inheritance away. I'm going to make some tea.
I wasn't lying about my inheritance, Katie. I really have one. A whole block of buildings right here in London.
Well, if they're all as magnificent as this, it must be really something.
My uncle won't make the title over to me. Here's what he lets me have every month.
Can he do that?
My father named him executor. He can. All that has to come out of this is your salary, enough for your room, and some stew for the pot. Do you still want the position?
I've already taken it. You go and wash up now for dinner. Go on.
All right, Timothy, just a moment. Too long, mind you. Ah, that was quick, Timothy. Now, if you could only learn to close the... How did you get in here? What do you want?
Doesn't this make it obvious?
Isn't it a little late for practical jokes?
Quite late.
Ah, I see. Hold up.
I didn't mean to leave room for doubt on that point, really.
I might have been upset, I think, had it been a joke. I'd hate to think that anyone playing a joke would walk in just like that. I'm supposed to be pretty burglar-proof. The best alarm, second story, and a button I can press directly to police headquarters.
Yes, but it's over there, by the desk.
You know something about my place. Very clever.
Even to when you switch off the alarm to let the cat out. It's taken time.
I sense you're an expert at getting in and out of places, but green at hold-ups. Oh, you know there's nothing here worth stealing.
I'll look around before I leave. In the meantime, put up your hands.
I'll do nothing of the sort. Put away that gun.
It's loaded.
What if it is? You don't really think you can scare an old man long overdue for the cemetery with the threat of death, do you?
I can always tie you up if necessary. I intend to look around.
Now, you can put your hands up. Sit down over there. You're not old. And since I have little respect for human life, I shall not hesitate to use this pistol. I don't believe in this modern coddling of criminals. Sit. Take off your mask. Oh, it's a sin to cover such a pretty face.
I can see you're affected.
Oh, yes. Overwhelmed with admiration. Physically.
Push the button. Call the police.
Admiration for your physical ability, not your beauty.
You mean you're tempted to let me go out of admiration?
Oh, I may call the police later. You may put down your hands, but keep them on the table. I confess to a certain academic curiosity as to the reason for your visit here. Besides, you may be able to do me a service.
Such as?
Later, after we've talked a while. I've already made one mistake. I'm not in a hurry to make another.
You make mistakes? I'm relieved to hear there is a human quality.
I engaged a hungry little man whom I thought was nothing but nerve, and he let me down. On his very first task, an insignificant one, he lost his gun and had his arm broken.
What did you employ him to do?
It doesn't matter now. He didn't do it. But he wanted me to pay to have his arm fixed, if you can imagine that.
What is it you want me to do?
Nothing very different from what you came here to do.
I'll be saying good night.
Well, now, what have we here, eh? The way you came down the side of that building, you should be in a circus, miss, not burgling.
I'm not a burglar.
Oh, the upstairs maid, I suppose. In too much of a hurry to take the stairway, eh?
Well, yes, that's it, really. You see, it's not my night off, and I've got a date.
Well, I can believe that you'd have a date, all right.
Can I go now? I'm awfully late.
Won't take a minute to check.
Oh, but I'll get the sack.
You'll get the sack. I'll get the sack. If I should let you go and then you turned out to be a cat burglar. She said she was employed here, sir.
Yes, Constable, she is.
Well, I'm glad she didn't turn out to be a burglar. She said she might get the sack, sir, and I was hoping that, well, she's young and...
The housekeeper will decide about that. Good night, Constable, and thank you for being so alert. Oh, wait. You better be sure she wasn't taking leave with some valuables. Nothing but her own things. Good night, Constable.
Good night, sir. I can find my way out.
Sit down. Now, where were we?
You remember you told him I worked here.
I believe the housekeeper did hire someone today. I'll say I made a mistake. Now I want to hear about you.
What is it you want to hear?
Who you are, where you came from, what sort of record you have, whether you're likely to succeed in the task I have in mind or fail to involve us both.
I was in the service. First ferrying planes to North Africa, then I switched to intelligence.
Where you learned to enter second-story windows and use a gun.
I was taught.
What about your record?
I have no criminal record. This was my first attempt, and I bobbled it like an amateur, as you can see.
You'll be more careful next time.
I don't think there'll be any other time.
There will be one more time.
You're a very evil old man.
Be quiet, I'm thinking. British intelligence, you said.
I keep wishing I'd walked in here and shot you. A public service.
Now I've got it. Intelligence is the service my nephew was in, and in Casablanca.
You're off on a wild flight.
You're the girl he wanted to marry if I'd given him the money. Now it makes sense. You didn't come here to rob me at all. You came here out of revenge to kill me.
There's no way of proving any such nonsense.
Ah, now I have got you. The police will connect you with my nephew soon enough.
I worked for him for the past month as a part-time housekeeper. That's all.
Oh, no, my dear, that's not all at all. If you cook this up between you, oh, this is splendid.
He had nothing to do with it. He doesn't even know I'm capable of such a thing.
No matter, no matter. You're in love with him. I can see that. You'd hate to be locked up where you wouldn't see him for the next few years.
And I can see there's no use appealing to your better side. You haven't any.
Killing me wouldn't have done any good. My solicitors have been instructed to pay out the trust fund as I've set it up. My most valuable possession, my stamp collection, will be burned, cremated with me. David won't get anything. Nobody will.
It's what I would expect. A man who'd send a hoodlum to rob his own nephew of a few shillings.
I did that more to show him why he shouldn't have money. How helpless he is. A helpless cripple. That and also to get a better hold on Docker, that blundering little cadaver, before I entrusted something more important to him. Who broke his arm? Not David. You?
I'd do the same thing to you with more enjoyment.
Ah, you forget the police. I'm not a criminal. Not of record, anyhow. Coming here to kill me out of revenge was stupid. A flaw that worries me.
I didn't come here for that reason. You don't think I did.
Let's go into that, my dear, shall we? I hope it's credible. As I said, flaws worry me.
I thought I might frighten you with that gun into doing the right thing by David. Failing in that, I hope to appeal to your sense of justice. But finding that you don't frighten...
And have no sense of justice, you're up a tree. No matter. I'm interested in your physical prowess, not your brain. Did David ever tell you about my stamp collection?
He said it was an obsession.
Quite right. An obsession. Pathological, in fact. I've sacrificed everything to acquire it. Friends, family, my brother's dying wishes.
David?
To get possession at all costs of these square and oblong little engravings with mucilage on the back has been the overmastering temptation of my life. The lust is unreasoning, uncontrollable.
What has that to do with me?
I'm coming to the point. In spite of all the priceless acquisitions in my collection, there's one thing still missing. One thing I've searched for all my life. I refuse to die until I have it. I refuse.
A stamp?
A stamp no one else on this planet owns. That is my desire.
I don't see how I can help you with that.
Have you ever heard of the sixpenny magenta Honduras?
I don't know anything about stamps.
There are only two of them. I have one and I know who has the other.
I'm sure you must have enough money to buy it.
I can't beg it or buy it. I'm only permitted to look at it. It's here in London and I can only look at it. A friend owns it and so I've got to steal it.
You have my permission. I hope you get caught.
You're going to steal it for me.
I'll take my chances with the police breaking in here.
It'd be easy for you. The man who owns it lives not a mile from here.
Friend of yours?
I loathe him. If I must tolerate him or I'll never even see the stamp.
Why won't he sell it to you?
He's very rich. He's like me in other ways. He loves to see me beg and crawl.
So you want me to steal the sixpenny magenta so that you can destroy it and own the only one in existence?
You'll do it?
How much would the stamp be worth if it were the only one?
Priceless. 100,000 in cash. Not that I'd ever sell it.
Drooling over a stamp like that, it's sickening. I don't want any part of it.
And I'll turn you over to the police.
Press the button.
David, you came here to help him.
I came to the wrong place.
I'll give him his inheritance, the whole of it.
Now?
When you deliver the stamp.
How can it be arranged so that you can't back out?
The deeds and title are in my safe. Once I've delivered them to you, it will be done. Don't get any ideas about them. That's where they'll stay unless you do this for me.
I'll have to think about it. What if I don't succeed? That'll be a mess.
Sit down while you think it over. To do would be to have them properly recorded.
I haven't said I'd do it.
There's little danger. I know Mr. Hurd's house inside out, the whole alarm system, very much the same as my own.
How do you know all this?
We visit constantly. We exchange our knowledge. We catalog together. We examine our purchases. I don't know which of us hates the other the more. It's an unholy friendship born of jealousy and rivalry. You better sit still till you've made up your mind.
Put that gun away. I don't know one stamp from another.
Well, that's no barrier. I'll show you. When you've delivered the stamp. Here you are. The magenta. Use the glass. Isn't it a gem? Exquisite. The postmark's better than the one on Hurd's, more defined.
Looks just like any other stamp to me.
But the color and the beautiful head. And the watermark's a masterpiece of tracery.
But how could I possibly pick it out of thousands?
No difficulty. This is the standard deluxe album, printed for only a few important collectors.
His will be the same?
Exactly. Now look, this is page 106. The magenta's in the center. You can't miss it.
Page 106.
Pick up the volume. Look at the back. Volume 6.
British colonies, Honduras, Sierra Leone, and British Guiana.
Oh, Timothy again. We can go any time.
Volume 6, British colonies. Where will it be, in a safe?
Naturally.
Where exactly?
Here, I'll show you. It's on this shelf, the second shelf.
I'm not a safe cracker.
I know the combination, of course.
Why didn't you steal it yourself long ago, since you want it so badly?
Because I'm never alone in his study, and it should be apparent I can't climb a second-story balcony. Shall we go? I'll take my car.
Are you going along?
Not inside, just close enough to keep an eye on you.
Well, then let's get it over with.
This is the place.
Can't you drive any closer?
No, it wouldn't be safe. The study window's on the other side. That'll be the first window from the corner. There's a trellis leading up to the balcony.
Well, I'll make it.
As soon as you get on the balcony, you'd better locate the alarm wires.
You don't have to tell me how to get in once I get on the balcony.
What is it?
You brought David's papers?
In my pocket. There won't be any funny business if you return with a stamp.
I don't know how long I'll be.
It's half after 12. Giving you up. I was sure something had happened.
No trouble?
But you took so long, and the dog barked.
That's the way these things have to be done.
Have you got it? Let me see it. I can't stand the suspense.
I have it.
Let me see it. I've got to see it.
Well, don't make such a racket. You'll rouse the whole country.
Give it to me.
Even exchange. My papers.
That's it. I can hardly believe it, but that's it.
Well, I'll be saying goodbye, Mr. Landry. I'll walk to the nearest bus line. Hope I never see you again.
Ah, Timothy, you waited up for me. You know what's been going on tonight? Of course you do. You know what's happened tonight, don't you, Timothy? I finally pulled it off. Finally did what I've been trying to do all my life. Here we are. You know, Timothy, now we've got the only one. Ah, here it is, that beautiful magenta. The only one. She's tricked me. I burned my own stamp. I burned my own magenta. I burned my own magenta. I burned my own stamp.